Good evening. We'd like to welcome you to the Elmore County Commission work session dated Monday, January 25th, 2021. We'll call this meeting to order. I'd like to welcome any visitors that are with us today. We will begin with our regular business, review the minutes of the January 11, 2021 Commission meeting. Any comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, there is one correction. We got notification from the ABC Board that information they sent over on the watering hole was actually incorrectly listed as a restaurant license instead of a lounge license. So that will need to be corrected in the minutes.
Okay, so we'll correct that to reflect a 010 lounge retail liquor license. But in accordance with the ABC Board and others, that will not affect the application or the execution of the liquor license. Okay, thank you. All right, next we'll review the memorandum of warrants for the period of January 6, 2021 through January 19, 2021.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, for that time period, the memorandum of warrants was $1,404,909.02.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed now with our previously announced public hearing. A public hearing for a 050 retail beer off-premises only and a 070 retail table wine off-premises only alcohol license application by Dolgan Corp. LLC for Dollar General Store 21776 at 4449 Jug Factory Road, Wetumpka, Alabama 36092. Are there any citizens or representatives here for or against this retail beer and retail table wine license? All right, seeing and hearing none, are there any comments or questions from any commissioners? All right, thank you. We'll proceed with old business. Consider one appointment to the Elmore County Economic Development Authority due February 8, 2021. Candidate listed is Sharon Alexander. She currently serves in that capacity, and it has been presented to us for her to be reappointed. Any comments or questions or any additional names to be considered? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed now with new business. Discuss Elmore County data breach policy. Mr. Byer.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, County Attorney may want to discuss this as well, but this policy is in need of being put in place to deal with any kind of instance where the county does have a data breach. I don't know if y'all recall, but back during the summer, we thought we had an instance where we were compromised, and in fact, it was a very small amount of data with our financial edge software that only affected a couple of employees, but that created us an opportunity to visit this with our county attorney, and there's actually a statutory requirement that we have this policy in place. And so county attorney has worked on this and provided us, I believe, some good not only policy but good protocols to put in place in the event that this were to occur again. So I'll let Jeff comment on the policy in more detail.
Certainly, thank you. Chairman, Commissioners, the data breach policy very closely tracks the statute, our statutory requirements. In definition of what personally identifying, I don't know who I'm kidding, I really need to put these glasses on, I'm sorry. So anyway, much better now. What sensitive personally identifying information would constitute the basis of a breach. The data breach policy discusses security measures, investigation protocol, notice protocol, and third-party security breach in brief. And everyone, I say everyone, many had a chance to review it. Sam had a chance to review it first. So we are on board with what we need to get done in this area.
Okay. Thank you. Any comments or questions from any commissioners? We appreciate your work on this. I think it's important that we definitely, as we adopt this policy, we take the proper steps to make all of our department heads and others aware of the steps that need to be taken, and continue our efforts in training our employees with proper use of technology and emails, and what emails to open and what emails to not open. We continue to do that training, but unfortunately the hackers are doing the same type of training, and they're trying to be one step ahead of us. So we definitely don't want to fall in the same circumstances that some of our fellow counties and cities have, where they've been held hostage with Bitcoin payments and other methods. So we appreciate your work on that. Any comments? All right, we'll proceed now. Consider awarding EMA bid inquiry 2020-01 pedestrian barricades to the lowest responsible bidder. Mr. Byer?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, pursuant to a grant that the EMA office had secured that was specific to these type of barricades, the EMA had to solicit bids because the purchase was going to be over the $15,000 bid law. And so we are recommending award to the lowest responsible bidder, which is Crowd Control, in the amount of $37,627.50. These will be barricades that will be used in all our communities for any kind of events they have, along with not just sanctioned events, but any other events that were to occur. So,
Thank you. We'll be storing those at a central location.
I believe that we will be storing those at the our current storage facility, that area, and then they can be deployed from there. I don't. Keith may have told me that, our EMA director may have told me that we will store some of them on the outskirts of the county, but I think right now it's set up to be all in a centralized location.
Thank you. Next item, consider ratifying appointment of Leon Smith Jr. to represent the town of Cusada on the Elmore County Emergency Medical Services Board. Any comments or questions? Next item, consider ratifying appointment of Sandra Bradshaw to represent the town of Deatsville on the Elmore County Emergency Medical Services Board. Next item, consider one appointment to the Central Elmore Water and Sewer Authority, appointment due February 22nd, 2021. Candidate listed is Mr. Fred Braswell, who was previously appointed and currently serving in that capacity, and it has been recommended by the Water Authority that he be reappointed to that position. Are there any comments or questions or any additional candidates to be listed? All right, tonight will constitute the beginning of our 30 days for that appointment. All right, next item, consent docket, approved travel memorandum. Personnel notifications, notification of hire of Ricky L. Shaw, courthouse security, replace Jay Headley, effective 1/13/2021. We'll now proceed with reports to the commission. Mr. Byer.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, I only have two real items to update you on. The holidays tend to be, and right after the holidays, tend to be one of our heavier times with litter occurring. And with that said, that there's been an uptick on calls, and not only to the highway department, but the commission office, and then higher volume than normal on social media about litter in the county. As many of you know, since COVID hit, the county has had no access to any state inmates to do any of those operations. And so we have had to prioritize maintenance work versus really aesthetics and trying to keep the right-of-ways clean. So very little has been able to be done with trying to keep our crews focused on the maintenance work and keeping roads in a safe condition. And so with a little bit of that uptick, there's been some renewed efforts. I know Commissioner Hines is working on setting up a steering committee, and he's asked you for a number of volunteers to help with that and kind of renew the effort of a community-based approach. Our anti-litter campaign is going to ramp up a little more in the next few weeks as Highway Department gets more and more of the signs in key locations to kind of remind people of that. That'll kind of coincide with some early start to our right-of-way management program with our herbicide as well. But one other thing I think Commissioner Hines had a conversation with Waste Management, not Advanced, Waste Management before the last commission meeting. And we talked about debris coming out of the trash trucks. And part of that is things they can control with the way they run up and down the road and keep their trucks covered. But another thing is a consistent reminder we make that bagging your trash and making sure it's in a secure bag when you do put it in your container helps a lot with that. Prevents some of the strewing of the plastic bags and paper and things like that. So just a little reminder, hopefully from maybe the press could pick up on some of that the commission is actively looking at some different angles. We were talking with the sheriff about how we can use some of the county inmates, just again, for educational purposes. We can't mix county and state inmates. That's against all sorts of state policies on that. We usually would get more state inmates than the county. So that's why years ago it was a focus to get the state inmates. We could utilize more of them. As round numbers, we have about 50 employees in the highway department. We had about 10 inmates on average that we would use. So that's a pretty good chunk of workforce that we've not had access to over the last 10 months. So we've had to shift people around to take care of some of the duties besides litter that inmates would supplement because we just don't have the resources to hire 10 more employees to keep up with the litter. But we are working with the sheriff on some options. He's agreed to work with us on coming back to you with 2 positions that we pay that would supervise inmates that are coming out of the county facility, which will help him tremendously in the way that he can manage those getting in and out in the morning and afternoon hours, around feeding times and things like that. He can manage that. And so Commissioner Hines and I have been talking about those opportunities. We shouldn't have to buy any vehicles. We're going to shift vehicles around to get that handled. But it's going to take us a few more weeks to get that up and running and get somebody that can manage inmates and handle that environment versus just hiring anybody to do that kind of work. So the other thing is as we see a little uptick on the community side with hopefully some community groups doing pickup, we've always offered to be able to have supplies for those groups and be able to do actual pickup of anything they collect on the right-of-way so they don't have to worry about the ultimate disposal of that. And so we're kind of designing this with the sheriff to where he has the means to go around and pick those up, and we're working on a way to coordinate that. So anyway, just a short little update on the litter in general and how we've had to prioritize. The other thing I wanted to update you on is last Wednesday, the 17 Spring Steering Committee had their first meeting of the steering committee. Commissioner Mercer was in attendance during that, along with the other partners. The committee did approve made a recommendation to both the commission and the council to move forward with the design contracts. All that is in play. Tomorrow night, the council for Millbrook is set to approve those. And then tomorrow afternoon, we actually have a call with the design team to go ahead and establish weekly meetings with them and move forward with the design process. In the meantime, the county special projects team that's out there, the 3-man team that we have, is continuing to do clearing operations and getting ready for the grading. So everything should be on schedule. Phase 1 is in a position to where we hope this time next year we'll have those improvements in place and they will be up and operational. So that's the plan on that. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have in the way of a report for tonight. Do you have any questions of me?
Thank you. We appreciate the report. Any comments or questions? All right, we'll begin with reports from the commission. We'll begin with Commissioner Daughtry.
I have one question. Richie, Mr. Byer, I should say, respectfully. The not being able to get the inmates, is that directly attributed to COVID, or was that something that was happening before COVID?
No, so they as soon as COVID hit, they pulled the inmates from us. They were not allowing them to go out because of issues with exposure, and they didn't want to bring the virus back into their jail population. So that's the only information that we've been given about why we can't get access to them is the pandemic.
I noticed I think it's phase 3 or phase 2B or some third phase anyway, that the inmates will be offered the vaccine, so hopefully that'll improve. Only thing I'd like to commend our sheriff's department. It seems I'm doing that quite often, but they're always doing something that I think deserves commendation. We had a case up in the northeast end of the county a few days ago of an attempted murder case, and a suspect fled at a high rate of speed, chase ensued, and so forth. I want to commend our sheriff's department, the elected police department, and specifically Chief Robert Head with the elected police department, who was personally involved in that, and for bringing that to an end without any major injury to anyone. So our law enforcement puts it out there on the line every day, and I certainly commend them for what they did, and specifically in that case. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Mercer?
Thank you, Chairman. And update to our ongoing efforts to expand broadband in Elmore County. We continue to work with the CETA to bring other, excuse me, to expand broadband in the county. I had an initial conversation with a potential provider today. I'm sure that's going to result in other conversations with the CETA, and we hope that they will choose to invest in the infrastructure that will provide a large portion of the county in the coming year. Next thing I have, Chairman, was just to comment on the 17 Springs project. As Mr. Bauer reported, we are continuing to meet in relation to that project. Plans are moving forward with us getting the design, construction, and operation agreements either signed or considered or created, and that project is on track. Last item I have is the Alabama Department of Revenue has released the December 2020 employment numbers, and specifically for Elmore County. We were slightly lower in December versus the November. November was 3.3%, and in December we were at 3.0%. That is compared to the statewide average during the same period of December at 3.9%. So it's very encouraging for Elmore County, and we're always thankful for all the entities and the businesses that work toward keeping that unemployment low in Elmore County. That's all I have, Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Hines?
Yes, Commissioner Stubbs, I want to thank Mr. Ritchie for what he's done and been involved in helping work with waste management and everyone in the communities. We've had a lot of response on this cleanup group that we're working with. Contacted several, and we're setting a date where we'll all get together in the 1st of February and start lining up some cleanup out of Elmore County. And I've also contacted Governor Ivey. I sent her a note asking her, hey, why can't we please get the printers back out, maybe small numbers, and each one of our representatives. I sent them a note today and already got a response from one of them, and hoping to hear from the others that we put a push on. Let's get the prisoners back out and cleaning our highways, because like 111, if you've been up it, is really bad, and I'm sure 143 is the same way. So with the help of the Sheriff's Department and these groups, and with our Highway Department, the great help that they give us and work out there, I think we're going to start taking away at this problem and make Elmore County be proud of that we can live in a clean environment. But on the Sheriff's Department, yes, Commissioner Daughtry, they have done an outstanding job on handling the problems we've had lately with our, I want to say, lawless people that's out there and likes to, take care of people that's not. But I want to commend our EMA also with Keith and them, how they keep us updated on this weather. With the changing from heat to cold constantly, they've done an outstanding job sending us out information, and I've been able to get it out to a lot of people that worry about weather, so I want to thank them big time for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hines. Commissioner Lewis?
Thank you, Chairman. In reference to healthcare, there is no major new developments other than, of course, with COVID-19, please wear your face mask, keep your hands washed, and stay safe. Of course, the county is addressing any issues when it is brought to us. But one major thing I wanted to cover is that after our last commission meeting, if you remember, I had announced that we had a meeting involving the Chapel Road curve. And we had that meeting on January 13th, and I just want to commend and thank our county, our engineer, our chief operation officer, the troopers, our chairman, everyone who came out regarding that issue, because in less than a week, I believe, the issue was addressed. We have signs in the curve. I do know that people have reached out to me to say thank you. So hopefully that will bring awareness out involving that curve. But I want to stress and hope that that situation would be how we deal with any other issues in Elmore County. We have a great team here in Elmore County, and if you just reach out to your resources, we are here to work for you. So I just want to say thank you to our county, and just thank you. That's it, Chairman.
All right, thank you. Appreciate the comments from each of our commissioners and their commitment and diligence in serving the people of Elmore County. A few items I'd like to just briefly address. One, as many of you are aware, the filming for the Hdtv Hometown Takeover concluded over the weekend in historic downtown Wetumpka. Most of the film crew has departed or are departing this week, and we anticipate the show to premiere in April of this year. So again, that will be a full season profiling Wetumpka and the surrounding areas. I believe it's 6 one-hour episodes. And if you've ever watched HGTV, they run a lot of reruns. So I'm sure it will be shown a lot. So we're excited to put forward the city of Wetumpka and Elmore County. Also, I'd like to make sure everyone's aware, and we look forward to recognizing this young lady in the near future. As many of you remember, a couple of years ago, we committed as a county commission to recognize any of our student athletes or students in extracurricular clubs at any of our schools in Elmore County who win a state championship. So that could be a basketball or a baseball team, or it could be an individual. It could be someone accomplishing something in band or art or anything on the state level. And this past weekend, we had a historic event at Wetumpka High School. Miss Jade Eldridge won the girls' state championship in wrestling. This is the first year that the Alabama High School Athletic Association has had female wrestling. In the past, there have been some girls that wrestled, but they wrestled with the boys. They've had enough interest recently where they actually have their own competitions, and this young lady from Wetumpka High School won the state championship over the weekend in her weight class. So I spoke with her father today, and we plan on having her come to a future county commission meeting, and we will present her with a resolution recognizing her for her accomplishments. So really exciting. The other thing I wanted to mention is we all need to make sure that we're on top of the legislative session that's fast approaching. It will begin in a couple of weeks, and actually not a couple of weeks, about 8 days. And when that session begins, I hope that we will continue to encourage our local delegation to support not only our local bills, but also the platform for ACCA and county commissions across the state. Ms. Desiree Lewis, Commissioner Lewis, she did mention about medical issues, and I do want to mention we received, we had inquired about local legislation relating to healthcare incentives or things that we might be able to do to incentivize growth in healthcare, and we received a draft just recently, so I'll be sending that out to all the commissioners for us to review. So we may have one additional piece of local legislation if we can move forward with that to incentivize growth and development in our healthcare industry in Elmore County. So I think it's a priority for all of us, and I hope that we can continue to follow Commissioner Lewis's lead on healthcare and find ways to improve that in our county. I'll now turn the time over to Kimberly for important calendar dates.
As the chairman mentioned, Tuesday, February 2nd will be the first day of the legislative session. Our next meeting will be on Monday, February 8th, with the work session at 5 and the business meeting following. Monday, February 15th, the administrative complex will be closed in observance of George Washington and Thomas Jefferson's birthdays. Our second meeting in February will be on the 22nd with the work session at 5 and the business meeting following. And then the weekend of Friday, February 26th through Sunday, February 28th will be the severe weather preparedness tax holiday weekend.
All right, thank you. One last comment, just so everyone's aware, Commissioner Desiree Lewis got engaged this past week, so we're excited
We
for
wondered
her.
why she
and
walked
that-
into the room like this.
Yeah, a big moment, so congratulations for that. We'll reconvene shortly. Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the Elmore County Commission Business Meeting dated Monday, January 25th, 2021. We'll call this meeting to order. We'll begin with an invocation offered by Commissioner Mercer, following which Commissioner Hines will lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Chairman. Please bow your heads. Father, we thank you for bringing us here today safely to serve our fellow citizens, Lord. We ask you to continue to wrap your loving arms around us, Father, especially during these trying times, Lord. We ask for your guidance and wisdom, and just lead us as we continue to try to serve our fellow citizens to improve our community. I ask these things in your name. Amen.
Ms. Kim, would you call roll?
Commissioner Daughtry.
Here.
Chairman Stubbs.
Here.
Commissioner Mercer.
Here.
Commissioner Hines.
Here.
Commissioner Lewis.
Here.
We'll begin with our regular business. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the January 11, 2021 Commission meeting as amended during the work session?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Hines.
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis.
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the memorandum of warrants for the period of January 6, 2021 through January 19, 2021?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Hines.
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis.
Yes.
We'll proceed now with old business. Is there a motion to approve a 050 retail beer off-premises only and a 070 retail table wine off-premises only alcohol license application by Dolgan Corp. LLC for Dollar General Store 21776 at 4449 Jug Factory Road, Wetumpka, Alabama 36092?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Hines.
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis.
Yes.
Proceeding now with new business. Is there a motion to approve the Elmore County data breach policy?
Motion
Motion.
approved.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Hines.
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis.
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve awarding EMA bid inquiry 2020-01 Pedestrian Barricades to the lowest responsible bidder?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Hines.
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis.
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve ratifying appointment of Leon Smith Jr. to represent the town of Cusata on the Elmore County Emergency Medical Services Board?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Hines.
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis.
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve ratifying appointment of Sandra Bradshaw to represent the town of Deatsville on the Elmore County Emergency Medical Services Board?
Motion
approved.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Hines.
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis.
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the consent docket as presented?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Hines.
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis.
Yes.
Proceed now. Personnel notifications. Notification of hire of Ricky L. Shaw, courthouse security, replace Jay Headley, effective 1/13/2021. Any additional reports to the commission? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Hines.
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis.
Yes.
We are adjourned.